Boing, boingo, bingo. This is the Idiots with Internet. Hello, how's everyone doing today? Uh, I don't know. Did we catch that? I don't know. Let's try it again.
Absolutely. The reason we caught that is because I'm Pat, he's Alex, we're idiots, and you have internet. That's right. You're here for another episode of Idiots with Internet. I hope you're excited for it. As you can see by our backgrounds and the thumbnail, we're trying to do all sorts of stuff to bring you better content week by week. And by better content, I mean higher quality. Don't think that AJ is any smarter. I have definitely not gained any ounce of self-respect. So together, me, you, him, we are all going to go balls deep on this one. That's right. I waited 60 full seconds, and that is why we are not just idiots. We have internet, and we have a story for you. AJ, what do you got on the docket today?
First of all, is the word balls a swear?
Well,
Show
I
us in the
mean,
comments. I don't know.
if I say I'm going to stick my fingers in your mouth, less weird. If I say I'm going to stick my balls in your mouth, a little bit more weird.
I don't know, dude. Honestly, I feel the exact opposite of that. I
Well,
don't know
let us
why,
know.
but
According to the YouTube algorithm, I don't think balls is a cuss word, but at the same time, I try not to pull it out too often, the right time and place.
yeah. I think it's like there are certain words that you really just got to hold on to and then fire them off at the right time.
So that's why the C word still has a whole lot of punch to it,
Of course.
I'm not Australian, so I don't use it too much. But when I do, oh boy, I think I'm gonna get fired immediately.
We let it rip. We let it
Yeah,
rip.
that's the thing. I'm just about to turn 36 now, and I should really stop saying it at work. But man,
Yeah.
if Maggie could get her shit together, I wouldn't have to swear so much. But
Yeah.
hey, I've had a whole lot of work stress lately, a lot of stuff in my personal life, my work life, and I'm so glad that I get to hang out, just chat and chill with you here a little bit. And we've talked behind the scenes a couple of times about playing some video games together here and there. I know you're a pretty big gamer, at least you used to be when you could
Yeah, we used to
afford the
game all the
time
time,
for it.
dude. We used to game all the time when we were to get like when we would hang out. I mean, it's pretty much for the most part, we would either like set shit on fire or jump on a beaver dam or play video games.
Oh, I can literally just hear Tanuk Tanuk on a 10-hour play loop and us doing Call of Duty and just going absolutely prestige all night long. And I like that as we've continued aging, that hasn't died out in our lives. It's funny. I was just talking to my pop before we got on stream here about playing Starfield. He
Yeah.
went through new game 8 times and was at the point where he wanted to just start all over. And we probably spent 30 minutes just talking about new video games and stuff. And he's in his early 60s, being half his age and just as into video gaming. I can only imagine that, people's kids growing up with this plethora of platforms, how entertaining that's going to be for them and where it's going to go. I've tried to stay up with it ever since the Nintendo in the late 80s, early 90s with Super Nintendo. And with a pretty solid PC going, I've got an Xbox Series X. I'm looking at getting one of those Quest 3s. I want to be on that cutting edge stuff. And I think about all these virtual reality sets and where tech is going. AJ, are you excited to play games with me in 5, 10 years from now?
To be honest, I don't know how to handle everyone with the changing of the games and the systems every 2 to 5 years, and they get more and more expensive.
Oh God, yeah. Well, and that's like a whole thing. The price to buy in nowadays is absolutely crazy. The
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, it used to be like $20 for a video game. Now it's fucking $100. Let's just be honest. It's
Yeah.
fucking $100.
Yo,
This is
yeah, bare minimum.
completely unacceptable.
PS5 games go for like $70. Some of the new Xbox games, $70.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It and what's wild, so many things have gotten more expensive, but I seem to get paid just as little as before.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, the struggle is real. And
Yeah.
I live here stateside in the US. You're over in Norway now, right?
Yeah.
And are you feeling that same squeeze
Oh, it's
as the
insane.
last? Yeah.
It's insane, dude. Like gas is probably like I think it's about $9 a gallon, and
Jeez Louise.
cigarettes are like $16 a pack.
Oh my God.
Meat is like, I think it's 15 to 20 bucks a pound, if you want to call it that, because we do it by kilo. I mean, it's insane. Like I went on a moose hunt yesterday, a full moon night hunt. It was freezing up in the mountains with two hunters of mine, and my God, we were hoping that we would get a big moose, because then each of us have like 40 kilos of meat, and that lasts a long time, and it saves so much money. But instead, we just froze our nips off and pretend we were, I don't know, what's that guy's name? Bradley Cooper in
Bear
movie The
Grylls.
Sniper or whatever it is. You know, you're just sitting.
It's interesting that you mentioned that. One of my coworkers, avid hunter, he actually is missing the go live of our 1.5-year project because it's deer season. He's able to go out and secure food for his family.
Absolutely.
And we've talked about it a number of times. This is a huge part of how he was raised and how he raised his children, is that there is this interaction with the land and the environment, and that by actually caring for the forest around you and the creatures that live there, you're able to gain something off of it. Like a farmer that cares for an orchard, 5 years later, you get good fruit.
You get some good apples.
Well, right. And tangent later, a hunter that cares for their local animal community 5 years later on is able to garner that much more. On that note, a farmer that is a hunter on the edges of their property will sometimes plant apple trees, never expecting to harvest the apples, but will hunt the animals that eat those apples.
100%.
So by doing like that little bit of work, that foresight and that planning, you can get that much more out of it, which I think is honestly the people that haven't realized those things in their own lives is what led to this current economic tumultuous period. There are so many people that haven't thought about 2, 3, 5 years from now, and that's
Let me tell you something about the future, brother.
The future,
dude, it's a lot like farming, brother. All right, dude. Listen, life is like farming, dude. All right, brother.
I hate to sound like Jared, but yeah, in a bit of a way, you know, we're all part of the land and all that.
Yeah, well, we are, we are. And as we grow older, things change, but your opinion changes, but the reality doesn't. And that's just how it is. It's like a lot of young people, they say, what is it? College students are Marxists and communists and socialists. And then when they gain value and wealth and such, then they become like a Republican or conservative.
I have heard that the easiest road to becoming a Republican is having money.
Yeah, I think so. I think that that's very true. So, anyways, bombs are flying, children are dying.
So, yeah,
the world's on fire.
Yeah.
But how are you?
Well, so it's funny that you say it like that, is that the world's on fire. And that's how certainly a lot of media is presenting the current conflict in the Middle East. Everything's coming to shit. The bombs are falling. Motherfucker, I live in Vermont. Nothing is happening here. Literally, like,
yeah, it sucks.
Nothing is happening here.
It sucks to say it like that. Don't get me wrong. I don't like innocent people dying, especially, kids and shit like that, and it's just very, very horrible. But I mean, the actual reality is the only thing that's gonna happen to me is my gas is gonna go up another $5.
Right. And it's rare that I like kids dying, but
Whoa.
it's not something that directly affects me, the war that's going on overseas. And as we have seen statistically over and over for our both lifespans, this is the safest time to live anywhere in the world. And
So it's so crazy to think
just
like that too, because it's the safest time to live because you can live the longest. You have the most technology ever. Like
right, yeah,
everything's chill, but it's also kind of the most unstable world, and it's heading in a bad direction. We're the closest to World War III we've ever been. So it's very odd that balance.
right. I think back to like World War One. When 1915, right? What was the most explosive thing that could happen?
Mustard
We drop a
gas.
whole bunch of artillery.
Mustard gas, bro.
Yeah, right. Mustard gas, that kind of thing. Chlorine warfare, things like that. You can kill tens of thousands of people at a time. We got to World War II. We were dropping nukes on unarmed cities.
Yeah, that
doubly
shit
so.
was crazy. Thinking
Right.
back
And
on
even that was a few 100,000 people, right? With the Cold War, we were worried about mutually assured destruction. Shit, man. With COVID, whether or not that was supposed to be something that got out, it's pretty clear that that was an engineered virus. Yeah, take me down now. We're 12 minutes in. Fuck you. So
Yeah, it's okay.
I think that going forward, what we have to worry about will not take out all of humanity. It'll take out huge swaths. It'll affect all of humanity, but it won't kill everybody off. I
Yeah.
think people are going to continue just trudging forward for a long time. I hope so, at least. And I want to be part of that. I'm about to turn 36 now. Smoke heavy, drink pretty heavy, eat poorly.
Yeah, but you
I
look
hope to
better.
live-
You look like you lost a lot of weight.
No. I just want to
You're
say,
taking care of yourself,
I just want to live for another 25 years from now.
That's like the goal. If you go over that, then it's great. But just
it's 72.
I'll
I'll be
before
100%
25
off.
years from now, it's like fuck.
The day I hit 72 and 1 day, holy moly! That's the fucking goal. Yeah, and my grandfather lived to 95 and
God bless that man's soul. God bless that man's soul.
What are we gonna see? I mean, it's wild.
What do you mean? What are we gonna see? What think about what we saw, dude. Shout out to the Uyghurs. We know that from a couple episodes ago.
That's one of the things. Okay,
we're living through that,
So my grandfather, he was out working in the turnip field, and he saw a whole bunch of like dust in the air. Came back to his hometown, and that's where the Nazis had like driven.
They were like, "Guten Tag, hello. We'd like you to work for us."
Yeah,
we have an exciting job opportunity for you.
Very enthralling. I swear, it will keep you for the rest of your life.
It's one you won't want to leave ever.
But that type of thing to have happened, if that were to occur now, imagine the coverage that would get. How exposed that thing would be.
There certainly wouldn't be any people that are Holocaust deniers. They wouldn't exist, because the proof would be in the pudding. How could you,
Right. As far as the current genocides that are happening in northwestern China, I don't think that there's anybody that's saying, no, they're not doing that. I think it's that there are two camps. People that know that the Chinese government is killing millions of people, and the other side is they don't know that it's happening.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anybody outside of the People's China's Republic that's saying, no, this is okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or that they're denying it's happening, that they've heard of this and that they're saying it's not true.
Well, that's also a common thing though, like being in denial when you're in that situation, especially like if you have LP syndrome, then you're I mean, if you're part of the LP community, if you're suffering from LP, then that's only going to intensify that, you know, little penis syndrome, little penis.
Yeah, little dick energy.
Pretty much, yeah. I think a lot of people, they really base their reactions on fear, you know, whether or not you're trying to make someone laugh or whether or not you're trying to get a job. It's all kind of really based on fear. When you want to make someone laugh, it's like, I want them to like me. You're afraid they don't like you. You want a job because you're afraid you're not going to make it. It's very difficult, you know, when you don't just take mushrooms all the time to kind of like let reality sit in, you know. I feel bad for those people who do shrooms like all the time, like what a typical acid head would be at this point, because it's like, okay, I get it, but it's not very good what you're doing. I don't think you're making a difference.
That's why I try to keep, you know, 3 days a week maximum. But you know, and that's not assuming microdosing is taken into the scenario.
Otherwise, I mean, like you know, macrodosing or heroic doses. You know, like there are guys that are just they're always going to like festivals, or not even guys, just people going to festivals all the time and just getting blitzed and trying to figure out something about life that it's really not about figuring it out. It's about accepting it, bro. You know.
Also, yeah, there's something to be said about just partaking part of the experience. That life is about the journey, not the destination. And it sounds really hokey. And it's funny, the pair of us being where we are in our lives, how many of these cliches we've heard. Ooh, it was love at first sight. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I married her. She's now my ex-wife. I understand that concept. There is only enough blood to support one of my heads at one time.
Exactly. You know, the shovel, meaning the tip of your penis, it can either dig you a hole or it can get into a hole. So it's a tool, right? You got to use it the right way. I don't know if that is relevant to the situation we're talking about, but I just felt they need to be a bit silly. See, fear, right? This is the Idiots with Internet podcast. We're talking about some real shit, guys. And now I'm feeling a bit weird. I mean, I'm like inside my head.
As a point into the conversation is that when I think about how old I am, part of that is the fear, because I know I'm going to die at some indeterminate time. And the thing that makes it more determined are the actions I take. Whether it's eating poorly, not exercising enough,
hanging out with the wrong crowd.
Well, and that's a whole other sect of it.
Joining up and fighting a proxy war, maybe moving to the Congo and helping on that note,
you know, how you carry yourself has a huge impact in your life. Both of us have a similar acquaintance. Friend is the wrong fucking word. We'll call him Danny. Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now, because of some of the decisions Danny has made,
can we just call him Dick, like Richard?
Like, no. I'm going to keep using Danny because it's just enough anonymity that this little piece of shit gets what he gets. So, Danny used to think that he was the biggest and best. And because of that, he would often break the law. So he had a bad relationship with law enforcement.
The boy had a bad relationship with the law.
Yeah, well,
I've once seen a man dig 7 miles in human filth.
Funny as it is, as a criminal, he didn't like police very much. So he was in a pretty bad car accident. Lo and behold, because of his history disliking police so much, they didn't want to bring him to the hospital
right away.
And that's how he got a very bad infection. Now, it's stories like that.
He's dead now.
So I have my step-nephew. I am terrible at that.
Who cares about
so somebody I had in my family died because of how he carried himself. He got into heroin and he never took care of himself. He got an infection. He ended up getting sepsis. He
Oh,
had
fuck.
to lose part of his leg, another part of his leg,
Ah.
another part of his other leg, and ended up dying from it. And it's just because he never took care of himself. He never cared for himself. And I think that's a big part of the problem in modern American society, and probably larger than that, is being able to take that step back, to be able to look in on what you're doing, how you're carrying yourself.
Echo Charles, I couldn't have said it any better. Thank you for that.
God damn, that was smooth. I like it. I like it.
Moving on.
And
welcome to the Not Taco
if you
Willie
guys are
podcast.
liking things like that, go ahead, make sure that you're going to hit that little thumbs up down below. If you want your friends to get this really important information, make sure that you share. And
really
if you want
important
more,
information.
go ahead, do me a little favor and subscribe down below. We're
Yeah, come
going to
on,
go
dude.
ahead and make sure you get some tasty content out there, and hope to see you again soon. Until that occurs, you stay frosty and you stay strong, my brother.
Oh, is that it? Are we done? Okay.
Hey, we're 22 minutes in. I swear, if I could last 22 minutes and it not be satisfying, oh, baby, I need a new girl.
Son of a bitch. We've been idiots. You have internet. See you guys. Till next time.
Peace, baby.